Okay, you are in the kitchen with John Sanders, also known as Jelly 007. And tonight, peach ice cream. And I mean the best peach ice cream you've ever ate, I guarantee it. This is my mother's recipe that's, I don't know how old, well, all my life is what I ate right here. And I wrote that down out of her recipe book years ago. Now today is June the 26th, and that's a big thing to know because I don't know if this is normal, but this is a couple of days ago was the first time I was able, and I've been looking, to walk into my Publix or any couple of grocery stores I went to and buy fresh Georgia peaches. And you can see we are the peach state, and we have been for at least 80 years or so. So anyhow, I'm a little partial on the Georgia peaches, but I'm telling you, any fresh peach will probably do it. And but I'm gonna promise you, the Georgia peaches, I wait on them. I think it's a big deal. It's part of it. Now, like I said, we're gonna use a White Mountain like she did, like we've always used as far as my childhood. Now, my childhood, we used this right here, and somebody had to sit on it, and somebody else had to turn it, and it was a family event, and it always was. And I think that is almost gone nowadays, and it shouldn't be. But anyhow, I'm going to show y'all everything she did, and I do now, and it's really simple. We got to start with the peaches. You have to start with those. You have to get that started first. Get the peaches going. You get them cut up, and like I said, I'm going to show you. Now you need a bunch of salt. I want to say that this is a special item I'm going to have in a minute. I'll explain all of this in a minute. So y'all hold on just a minute. We're fixing to make the best peach ice cream in the world. I guarantee it. Y'all hang on, and I will be right back. Okay, so some of the things you need to know is that I said I bought these a couple of days ago, and that's because when you buy peaches a lot of times in the store, they're not completely ripe. That's how they ship them. Well, it took 2 days, and these are pretty much perfect. You just want peaches that you can feel a little bit of give or eat one. I ate one the day I came in. I could tell they wasn't ready. I ate one today, and they are definitely ready. All right, so now I will also say that I'm making this for a gathering we're having. So I'm going to do part of these steps tonight and the rest of it tomorrow, and it's fine to do it that way. I've done it a bunch of times. These Pyrex dishes, you can freeze it in and then scoop it out and put it in cones and stuff. But there's nothing wrong with eating it right out as soon as it comes out of this mixer and you pull that paddle out. You know what I mean? People love to eat the ice cream off that paddle, and it's excellent. Now, the reason it needs a little bit of a little preparation is my opinion, and I think it means a lot. We're going to use, this is a half a gallon. We're going to use a quart of that. We're going to put a quart of that milk in here, and I'm going to bring it to, say, the scald, what they refer to as, where you get light bubbles around the edges. Hey, if you don't get it that far, the main thing is just, you don't want it refrigeration temperatures. You want it warm to where it can melt the sugar that we're going to put in there. Now, the recipe calls for 3.5 cups of sugar. We're going to put 3 cups into the warm milk, and the reason is because we're going to reserve a half a cup of the sugar out to put on these peaches, and I'll explain that in a minute. But what we do is you get this warm, like I said, if you want to go to scald levels, you can, but it doesn't have to, I don't believe, but I do think it means a bunch to get that milk warm where that sugar will melt, and you just stir it and then put that in the refrigerator and let it be cooling. Now also, once that's done, I'll add my cold products, my cold stuff that has to go in, a quart of heavy cream and a quart of half and half, and that brings the temp down too. But the colder the better. But again, some of these steps you could eliminate. I just don't. I think that's a big step to me. I think it makes the texture a lot better texture as an ice cream. Now, the next thing, cutting these up. What you got to do is, now I don't peel them, but neither did my mother. I cut them in half, pulled the seed or the pit out, and then I cut them into pieces about this big. And I'm going to need 6 cups, ever what it takes of those to get to my level of 6 cups. Now this is a 6-quart freezer, by the way, but this is a recipe for a 6 quart. Don't know if I've said that, but that's what it is. So we're going to put 6 cups of chunked or cut into pieces and cut up peaches. Then we're going to put that half a cup of sugar. Actually, I'm going to put the juice of 1 lemon. Take the juice of one of these lemons probably and put it on there and mix that up, and then put that half a cup of sugar on. And in a few minutes, you'll see what I mean. It starts releasing the juices, and you don't do anything to it. You know, just let it sit in there, stir it every 15 or 20 minutes for at least an hour, I say. I think it needs at least an hour. But if you got 2 hours and you got, you know, let it sit for 2 hours. And you'll see what I mean. All the juices release, the peaches get real soft, then you just mash them. Now, if you need to use a stick blender, you can, because you don't want any big chunks. If they don't break up real easy, but I feel positive, if you do what I said, let them ripen, they'll break up fine. But if you got big pieces in there, they're going to get hard when it freezes. So you don't want it to do that. You want to keep it, you want it to be mashed out. So anyhow, we're going to get some of these steps started and show y'all exactly what I mean. I'll show you what I mean. So y'all hold up just a second. I'll be right back. Okay, so I've got the about half of that, which is a quart of milk in the pan. I got my 3 cups of sugar right here. I've got it set to 150, and by the way, this is a New Wave PIC Platinum, and I mean, it did not take long. I've got it set to 1800 watts. This makes a great, you know, anyhow, I got a buddy, as a matter of fact, another creator named, his channel is Wave Oven Recipes. His name's Darnell. He's got some great, he reviews a lot. Whoops. He reviews a lot on these New Waves. But anyhow, you can see, I'll show you again, I don't really have the bubbles forming, but take my word, I can tell by feeling the side of my pan, it's plenty warm, and I can temp it. But I got it set to 150. But like I said, Darnell, you can watch that Wave Oven Recipes, and I haven't alerted him that I'm going to mention him on my channel, but he just crossed 10,000 subscribers, similar to me, and I really like his channel. I mean, I watch him every once in a while. I don't have time to do a lot anymore, but the New Wave's a great device. I absolutely love this cooktop. I mean, I really do. It is completely portable. Although I've got plenty of places to do it elsewhere, this is what I use most of the time. I've got one in here, or I've got wherever I plug it in, but I have one dedicated to outside near my toaster ovens and all. But again, I'm not trying to push them. I'm just showing you what it does. And setting at 150, and I'd imagine we're pretty close to that by touching the side. This is all I'm doing, is trying to get that sugar to completely melt and become a liquid. You know, I want it to be part of that milk. I think it is a big deal. So I'm making this long. You get the idea. I'm going to let this go just a minute longer, turn it off, then I'm going to add these 2 to cool it down, and I'm going to put that in the refrigerator. So y'all hold up, I'll be right back. Okay, so for the record, right there it is, and that's how it looks. Somewhere around 150, and I'm going to turn that off now. And again, I think it's rather important. I'm actually going to hit pause, clear, and set this on here. And now I'm going to let that set just a moment, and I'm going to add all this and mix it up, and that's going in the refrigerator. So be right back. Okay, so here they go. Whoops, knocked the camera a little bit, but it is just like it sounds like it is. We're just going to add this in and help cool it down right before I put it in the refrigerator. So here we go. But anyhow, I'll be right back. Okay, so I've transferred that into this container. I'm going to put that in the refrigerator. By the way, I pulled out about a half a cup. We're going to put that on those peaches also. But anyhow, I'll be right back. That right there is right at 6 cups. And that's 13 peaches, and they are just shy of, say, a tennis ball. Well, I'm not stopping on 13. We're gonna add 1 and make it 14. So this is all I've done. It's simple as this. You just cut them up, get that pit out of there, and then stuff like this right here. Cut it in half again. quarter, whatever you want to call it, and then slice them like this. Just like this. So, and then, I mean, these peaches are 100% perfect. Okay, so cut the lemon in half, and all I'm going to do is press a little bit of lemon juice right here. And I'm not even going to press real hard because I got plenty of lemon juice. This lemon's a large lemon, and I'm going to press the other one just the heck of it because I got it. And then we're going to put it in that larger bowl. I'm going to find a bowl that I got a good lid for because they're going in the refrigerator. But anyhow, there you go. Next is the sugar. Okay, so all I'm going to do is transfer this to this bowl. I like it. It's a little bigger, and you know, like I said, I can mix it up a little better with this sugar. And well, I don't have to mash it yet. I shouldn't have said that. Every once in a while, I just got to stir it up a little bit, every 15 or 20 minutes, and that is all we're after right there. And I've got to find something to stir it with right now, and this should do it. So all we're going to do is mix it up, and now it's got to do is sit for a while. And that sugar will start drawing all those juices out of there, and it's going to make for what I believe may be the best peach ice cream I've ever made. I mean, these peaches are so perfect. It's going to be really good. I'll put it like that. It's kind of tricky to get peaches that well. But anyhow, I'll be back in just a second. Okay, so that's been about 10 or 15 minutes. I just wanted to show you before I add that heavy cream and the mixture, the ice cream mixture. You can see the liquid that's already came off. And this right here has been in the refrigerator. So all we got to do is put this in because it's cool. You don't want it warm for sure because it'll start cooking your peaches. You don't want to cook them. You just want them under some liquid. And now we got to do, I'm going to keep stirring it every 15 minutes or so for a little bit. No big deal at this point. And then get a lid on here and get those in the refrigerator. Okay, so the last thing the recipe needs is 3/4 tablespoon of salt. And I've got kosher salt. I'm going to put that in the milk. And then it also calls for 2 tablespoons of vanilla. And I'm going to put that in the peaches. So, and it's been about 30 minutes. And I've been stirring fairly frequently, but we are about to call this recipe done until the morning or tomorrow, where tomorrow this will all be cold. And again, if you were making it, this is the time to add it all together and put it in the freezer, put it in your ice cream freezer. Okay, so I almost forgot this part, but this right here is probably the best thing there's ever been for homemade ice cream. Because when you take soft serve and you put it in one of these kind of containers, you can make that kind of ice. You can cut it out of there with a scoop, in other words. And this one has 3 containers, you know, and it works real well. 2 of these, and then you put it in here, and like I said, once it hardens up, you can just cut ice cream out of it, just like an ice cream shop. So a lot of people are doing it. It's just this needs to go in the freezer now, and once you put the soft serve in there, you put it back in the freezer, and when you get ready to go where you're going, you put it in a cooler or something, and you are good to go. But anyhow, now you know. Be right back. So y'all, or no, I'll see y'all tomorrow. Okay, so here we are, day 2 of the world's best peach ice cream, and I want to show you this is how it's been in the refrigerator overnight, and I have not touched it. I wanted you to see that that is how it should look. And all we're going to do to that, well, we're going to do a couple of things. We got to mash them, like I said. And I did think about it. I've got a Breville all-in-one that has a perfect attachment, if you ask me. It's a potato masher, and I've got it set to rustic, which is the roughest cut it'll do. And I may run that on it some, but I'm going to show you what this right here will do, and that's what a lot of you have, and that's no big, you know, that's it. Now the other thing is, as you can see, the milk kind of settled out. That's fine. You know, it's the mix, actually. It's kind of settled out. It's going to do that. It's not a problem. All you got to do is come in here and stir it up, and you'll see it goes right back. And once you put it in that mixer, to be honest with you, you don't have to do this because that mixer is going to mix that up. So right now, what we're going to do is we're going to mash these peaches, and then we're going to mix all of it together. And no matter how much we use, even if we don't use it all, I'll keep it in the refrigerator and use it in another type ice cream machine I have. So here we go. I'm going to show you what it looks like after we do this for just a minute. And be honest with you, probably all it needs. But I mean, I'm looking for a way to use, I mean, I love this machine. I just hadn't had a lot of reasons to use it. But this is a perfect one. I've been meaning to do potatoes with it. I just haven't. So what I'm going to do is pretty much cut these up, mash these up like this, and then I'm going to put part of these in the mix, and no more mashed than this. And then I may take my the all-in-one, the stick blender or the stick masher, and I may grind some of the others up a little bit more. But I want a few, chunks. I don't want it completely liquid. I don't want them whole like I said, and I don't, but you're fixing to see. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take like 2 or 3 cups of what I end up with right here. So I'm just going to do this for a minute, and you just do that till it looks good. And we're pretty close now, but I'm going to do this for a minute, and then I got to get a cup to take some out, and we're going to mix it all in this big container over here just so I can run that puree on a little bit. So I'll be right back. Okay, so here is what, I probably did another minute and a half, and you can see what I ended up with. In fact, I'll show you a little better with this. And this is what I think you do need some of in the mix, and maybe all of it. You know what? Usually that's what I've always done. I've never had a stick blender to use. I've done this before without even doing that. I just may mash them a little bit more. But I think this is going to work real well. And one of the reasons I got the big container out over here is because I was afraid it won't all fit in here. And on White Mountain's website, they say never fill this container more than half full. I don't know if you can see what I'm pointing at, but the ice cream freezer container, you don't want it more than half full. I think I've always went a little bit further than that, but you know what? That works for me because I can use this in another, like I said, another ice cream maker I got, and it'll be perfect in the refrigerator, and I'm probably going to have more than that. So what we got is that right there. I'm going to put, there's 1 cup, and there's 2 cups, and 3 cups. So I got 3 cups, and I'm going to see how the look and feel of that is in just a second. I'm just going to stir that up. But there's 3 cups of my hand mashed peaches. I'm going to do 3½ cups. That's going to be what I'm calling it, about right there. So now we're going to run the Breville. In this part, I got it set to slow, and I got it set to rustic, they call it, which is a little bit of a grainier of a cut, just to make sure it don't get away from me. And I'm going to liquefy this right here a little bit better. And that is right there going to be all I'm going to do. Now that right there, turns out that is perfect for this. I'm going to see if I can sling that off of there without making a mess. But you know how that goes. I am known to make a mess. All right, I'm going to knock that off of there. And we're going to set that aside. And we're going to put it all in here. I think it's going to fit. Like I said, I got that bigger vessel, that bigger container out, or this big pan, because I didn't think it all fit in here, but it looks like it might. And if it don't, then I will go to there. So I'll make a little bit of a mess on the board, but here we go. I'm going to pour this in here till it's half full. All right, that's about half full. So that's perfect. That right there, now I can make soft serve in my other machine, and I may do a video on that. I got a pretty neat machine that I hadn't used in a while. So with the lid on, I've got the ice cream maker set up outside. We got to get that in, get ice around it, and a bunch of salt. And I'll tell you why in just a minute. You need a bunch of salt, and I'll explain that. Y'all hold up. Okay, so 2 things are very important, if you ask me, and it makes it for a better ice cream, and that's the truth. One is plenty of salt. People try and use a little bit. No, That whole box, I'm positive, is going on. I got a second one here. I normally use at least 1.5 boxes, because the faster you freeze ice cream, the same way commercial ice cream people do, the faster you freeze it, the smaller the crystals are, and that makes for a smoother, more velvety texture. I think it means a bunch. Anyhow, I have about 3/4 of the ice in here already. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit it with the salt. And honestly, it's probably okay to do at the top. I think I say that in another video I have also, because it's going to run down on that ice, but I just do it that way. I want salt in there. And what we got to do now, and once I plug this in, you're not going to be able to hear me, because this the White Mountain is not the quietest ice cream freezer on the market. So I'm going to turn it on, and once I do, I may turn the camera back on so you can see it. You probably won't be able to hear me, but I will be adding salt quite a bit. Again, have at least 2 boxes. So here we go with the noisy part. And I'm going to fill it all the way up. And I have another bag of ice, by the way. It takes a lot of ice also. I've got more than another bag, and you should have plenty of ice. You don't want to run out of either. And there you go. And I'm already into a 1/2 box, and that's just the way I do it. So it is 8:35. We'll see how long it takes for this to make completed ice cream. Be right back. Okay, we are 20 minutes in. 1.5 boxes of salt right now, and about almost 2 bags of ice. And we're at White Mountain hunkered down stage, I'm gonna say 3 out of 4. So we got this a little bit longer, and I think we'll be done. So hold up, be right back. Yup, there it is. Hunkered down level 4 for the White Mountain at exactly 31 minutes. We got to get it unplugged because it's trying to go. All right, so what we're going to do now is let that sit just a minute. And the motor's a little warm, but you know what? We can take this off. We just want to make sure we kind of got to clean that back, because we don't want to get any salt and water down in that mixture. So y'all hold on just a second. I'm going to get that started, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I ended up using about 1 3/4 box of salt. And yeah, that's a lot. Maybe people think it is, but I mean, it's still like $3 worth. And it means a lot, not only in how fast in the 31 minutes it froze this, but it also means a lot on the texture of the ice cream. Okay, so for pretty much the most important part of this whole video is right now. And I think you're going to find that the White Mountain really don't need a lot of extra freezing. I mean, look at that. It does what it does, and it does it fantastically. Now, I'll have to let that soften up a little bit before I can even get it in those Pyrex dishes that I'm going to put them in. But I'm telling you, that's a very good way of doing it. And I'm going to show you what this looks like. And I could just about make ice cream scoops to go in a cone right now from here. But, you know, if you don't have a White Mountain, and you may have a kind that does just as good, but there's nothing wrong with these. So I get this right here in there. I'm going to let you see what it looks like. And I'm telling you, when I say it's the world's best in the world, it's because it really is. And you see why I don't peel my peaches. I think that's a plus. I think the peach skins, everything, color, taste, texture, all of it. I mean, it's peach ice cream. It's supposed to have peaches in it. You don't peel a peach before you eat it, or I don't. So anyhow, hang on, I'm gonna take a bite. I already did just a little bit there, but no, just then, but not much more you can say other than that is absolutely perfect peach ice cream. So I'm going to pull this out. I'm going to set this part in the sink. Now, if I were not Pyrex dish part, obviously I'd leave it in here and serve right out of it till you get down low enough where you can pull that paddle out, because it's so thick you'd have trouble pulling it out right now. Just serve down till you get there. So I don't need to tell you all that. Y'all hold on. We're going to get this the next part started, which is kind of a bonus, but I think it means a bunch. So hold up. I'm going to show you what I mean. Okay, so this may be a little too much information for a lot of people, but I want to show it. There we are, 76 degrees. When I put it in this ice that has a lot of salt in it, which, you know, ice water would only be, say, 32, 33 degrees. Well, with salt, we're going to 6 degrees. And I had 4, right there, there's 4 degrees right there. I don't know you can see that, but 4 degrees. That's what salt does. And that's what makes your ice cream freeze fast and makes it velvety and smaller ice crystals, and the thing you want to be doing when you're making ice cream. And that's what all the professionals and the commercial people that make ice cream do. You freeze it fast. So what I've done, I've got this out. I'm letting it soften a little bit because that 4 degrees has it completely hard. Now, if you were serving it right now to your guest from here, that's the ultimate situation, but that's not what we're wanting to do. I'm going to soften that up a little bit. We're going to put it in our Pyrex dish. It's in the freezer. I'm fixing to get that out. And we're going to make this some portable ice cream. So y'all hold up. Okay, I will say this is my favorite method. and the way I eat it is soft serve. I love it. And you'll see right here, I mean, you can see those peach pieces. I have no idea why some people peel their peaches. I'm not complaining. I don't know why you peel a peach. You don't when you're eating them, like I said. And it adds a lot of stuff to this. This is probably the best dessert on the earth. Fresh peaches, that when they're ripe and ready, and that kind of ice cream with cream and heavy cream is extremely hard to beat. Okay, so here is my bonus feature to my homemade peach ice cream recipe on how to make homemade ice cream portable and scoopable to go in, say, a cone, which I've already explained several times on the peach ice cream, but I'm probably going to show this on a different video. But you want to get it like this, this is how you do it, so you can scoop it out. And a lot of restaurants and stuff do this. Now, this has been in the freezer overnight, my Pyrex dish with a insulated cover, and here's my ice packs. Here are 2 smaller ones that I will use if needed, but I'm carrying all this to one place. I've let my ice cream soften back up. By the way, that's my homemade peach ice cream, known as the world's best peach ice cream in the world. And I'm going to stir this up just a little bit to kind of get the what's thawed out while I've been getting this ready, kind of back to, we'll say, incorporated back into the mixture. And then it's as simple as this right here. And I don't think I'm going to need the small ones. Now, I almost want to use them where I could keep some, you know, for me. But I'm probably going to see if it'll all go in here. That Pyrex system right there is excellent for this, by the way. But all you do is this right here. Smooth it down. And I may not have enough left. That's the perfect amount for here, but I may not have enough left to fill one of those, and I've already ate 2 bowls. But we're going to put it in there. So all we're going to do is smooth this out. It's common sense. We're going to smooth this out and put that lid back on it, and then put it back in the freezer, and it will get hard like, say, Mayfield or Breyer's ice cream or whatever you're used to buying at the supermarket. And you can take an ice cream scoop and literally, real easily cut, you know, get scoops out of there. So there that one is. It's complete. All I have to do now is put the lid back on. And I'm going to go ahead and put it in here. just to keep it from any more thawing, because that's all I need it to do. I'm probably going to stick one of these freezer packs right here. I've got more than one, so I may put one on the bottom just because I can. So there that goes. And then we're going to zip that up, and all this I can do later, and I will. But you get the point. Next is we're going to go ahead and put some in here. For possibly me, I may carry it. I may eat it. But anyhow, this, you get the idea. There's really no need in me showing you any more of this, but this is how you make your homemade ice cream where you can carry it. And like I said, you set that insulated cover in a cooler. And yeah, that wasn't quite enough for here, but it'll work. It'll be fine. You can still cut it out with a scoop. So there you go. That's how you do it. Okay, so welcome to day 3 of Jelly's best peach ice cream in the world recipe. And I've just pulled it out of the freezer from being in there 24 hours or so. I'm fixing to get this out of this bag. You saw me put it in it last night. And it has to, when you pull it right out of the freezer, you can't just use it. You have to let it sit just a minute. So I'm gonna get it out, get the big one out. We're gonna get it right here. I'm gonna show you how it works and why I think this is a great way to make portable ice cream, or just if you're gonna save it and use it at your house. So you hold on, and I'll be right back. Okay, so just for the record, here's how it looks right after it comes out of the freezer, and you can see it's pretty solid, and it needs to soften a little bit before you can kind of cut it out of there. I mean, you can kind of fight it out of there, but there's no need in that. If you'll wait, I don't know, just kind of look and feel, depending on temperature, 5 or 10 minutes, it'll get easier to do. So we're going to do that. Y'all wait up. Okay, so I know you probably don't need to be shown how to do this, but if you've hung into this video this long, which turned into way more than I meant, I guess I should have done this a little different looking back. Maybe I should have done this part separate than I had the peach part. But take my word, this works well, and I mentioned it in the beginning of the video, so I'm going to follow through. And you know, it doesn't matter what you're putting in. These work great. We love these. We use these a lot now, and they're great for kids and stuff. But you know, when you're at the house, you might as well use a regular bowl. And I've been testing it a little bit, trying to wait on it to get to that point. But you know, there's really not a point. You just cut it off when you're ready, when you can. And then if it goes a little far, it just turns back into the soft serve, which I love on top of that. And like I said, if you've hung into this video this far, I did want to show this. So you just kind of get it, and you just kind of roll it, and it works pretty good. I may have went a little far with that, but that would be the cone. I'm not going to mess that cone up, because whatever I get out of here tonight, I'm going to eat. And quite honestly, that little bowl that you saw earlier, I've already went through most of it today. So I guess there's a lot of things to be said here. One is that lady I keep speaking of, my mother. I've thought about this a lot today, and today was my last day. I retired today, and 17 years of working on electric forklifts for a great company called Carolina Handling. And I've also thought about the video all day, because it really is a lot longer than I wanted. It's kind of been frustrating. So I'm sorry for it again, but I appreciate you hanging in. But I did retire today, so I'm going to do things a little bit different. I'm not sure how I'm going to do, but I'm going to take it easy for a little bit. But I'm going to continue to do my YouTube videos. But the lady I keep mentioning, she was there for me back in the day when I was sitting on this right here with a piece of newspaper on it, and most likely somebody else turning. By the way, I always try to be the guy that sat and not turn. She was there for me then, and she's here for me now, and she's been gone almost right at a year now. So a lot of the reasons that I'm retiring is because of her. And I love you, Mom, and I miss you. And thanks for everything you did. Thought I'd throw that in there. But also, hey, I love y'all too, and thanks for subscribing to me and watching my channel, and putting up with videos that get way out of hand. So anyhow, here's your portable or just a way to store ice cream. And you can see it's coming out pretty good. You can make cones out of that. You can make cups. The main thing about it too is this recipe. Really, it is like a really good. If you got friends that's really figured, you know, sometimes you get people that's really good with peach cobblers and all that stuff. It's probably got a lot to do with buying that peach early and knowing when to use it. And that's what this is. It takes a little time. You got to kind of know when to buy them and know when to use them. They get juicy and sweet at a certain point, and it's a short window. And that's what makes this kind of stuff way better. You learn how to hit that, and you'll learn how to make any peach recipe, including the world's best peach ice cream. But anyhow, thanks for watching my video. Y'all come back to see me. There it is. I'm going to put probably a video right here for you to watch as always, and then over here somewhere will be my big head that you can touch and subscribe. But again, thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging in this entire long video, and I'll try and keep them down from now on, but it gets out of hand with me. I'm not good at it, but I do what I can. Thanks again. Y'all come back to see me. Love y'all all. Bye.